There were key matchups all over the Tri-State tonight with top contenders separating themselves from the rest of the pack, all as postseason peers around the corner. Welcome to Home Team Friday, the Tri-State's original 30-minute football show. In baseball, October is a special month full of standout competition and intensified crowds. The best players making MVP-worthy plays in order to win their team a championship. And there really is nothing like playoff baseball. That is until you've seen October football here in the Tri-State. We start this evening in Lincoln City. Mount Vernon heads east to Heritage Hills as two 3A sectional 32 contenders collide. And if at first it looked like a toss-up, well, the football gods quickly said, think again. Our showdown tonight took place at Enloe Field. Wright's coming off of its first regular season loss in over 1,000 days. That's almost 3 years for those counting at home. But to get back on the schneid, they'd have to get through the SIAC's best undefeated Memorial. And we'll go off the gridiron here, where we spent time with a defensive tackle who makes gym rats all across the country feel small. A 700-pound deadlift, and he's just 16 years old. All right, it's time for the #1 football show in the Tri-State. It's Home Team Friday, and it starts right now.
It's time for Home Team Friday, brought to you by Expressway Dodge.
Jasper looking to get above 500 against one of the best teams in Class 5A, the Castle Knights. The Wildcats, well, they strike first. 69 yards from A.J. Helsman down the sideline, as one of my favorite broadcasters likes to say, punches it in. 7-0 Jasper. Next, Wildcat drive. Jack Levin stops short of the first yard marker. Trey Ward forcing that turnover on downs. That Castle defense is suffocating. Then the Knights go to work. Time winding down in the first. Bowden Morgan goes up top. 44 yards to Carter Bogue. Torn down at the 10. Well, then that would set up the Week 6 Home Team Friday MVP, Max McCool, to finish off the drive. Castle ekes this one out with a 1-point victory. That was about as close as it got. And, well, it was a great game.
A little bit of a trap game there for Castle there, but they got away with it.
Maybe a little bit. Once again, that's Colin Davies, the guru. I'm Michael Gross. This is Home Team Friday. Castle, we know that they are a really good team. They've moved up in that Home Team Friday Power 10 that we'll look at in just a second here. A 1-point win, though. Are they maybe not as good as we thought, or is Jasper better than we thought?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think Jasper plays really well against this Castle team. We've seen it in recent years. They're a really quality program, and they did so tonight, but not enough to get the win over the Knights.
Yeah, that triple option, really tricky on offense for those Wildcats. Still, though, Castle with the win. Let's take a look at where they stand and the rest of the Tri-State on the Home Team Friday Power 10. We look at the Week 7 ranking at the beginning of this week before all the games happened and were played this evening. Hancock County, a perfect 6-0. We know that they are 7-0 now. They played yesterday, a big win for them. What else do we see?
Well, we also see North Posey climbing back up, and Wrights, of course, dropping outside that top 5, and we'll get to that game later as well. 23 straight regular season wins. That streak was kibosh last week, and we'll have to see what happens this week. But they did play against Memorial, who sits at number 2, 6-0, one of 3 undefeated teams heading into this week. Castle at 5-1, we just mentioned them. They get a win. They're 6-1, so they're at least solidifying their spot in the top 5. Still, though, the top 3 look like they're going to stay the same. Yeah, and all 3 of those teams are going to be interchangeable, and they're probably going to win out all the way through going into the postseason. We'll see.
All right. Well, let's get to some more highlights.
Now we go to Romaine Stadium. Harrison and Central. Harrison trying to get in the win column. Opening drive for the Warriors. Anthony Bavone swings out. Cordavian Reed with the speed. 40 yards to open this game up with some fireworks. Central backed up on their goal line. Jay Sutton comes in, wraps up this for a safety for Harrison. Warriors driving again. Bavone on the keeper. Picks up 20 on the play, looking like Lamar Jackson with the Houdini spin there. Later in the possession, handoff to Sutton, who takes a handful of defenders across the goal line and in, makes it 15-0. And the Warriors get in the win column. Get this, 48-6 for their first win of the season.
Big for that program, just an unbelievable win. Bosse still in the market for their first win against 5-1 Mater Dei. We'll start first play from scrimmage. A couple of number 5s involved, but Gavin Weingart gets the better of the two. An interception deep into Bulldog territory, eventually pushed out by Antonio Floyd Jr. And that might have been an omen for how things would go for the Bulldogs. Tate Mallory under center, short handoff to Caden Thacker, tallied his first touchdown of the game, and the first touchdown of the game, 7-0, and then the chef put on his apron, Colin, and he dialed up a long ball in the kitchen there. Perfect. Sling over the top to Nolan Schickel for a score. Mater Dei puts Boise in the doghouse, 49-0. All right, it's showdown time, Colin. Wrights and Memorial. It doesn't get much bigger than that here in the Tri-State. Wrights coming off of a loss last week, their first since October the 15th, 2021. Memorial still undefeated.
Yeah, and when we looked at this game on the schedule, we thought the game of the year candidate right here. Of course, Wrights got that first loss a little bit earlier than we thought, but I mean, this game still had the makings to be a good one, especially with Wrights being a 4A squad. Yeah. So let's head there to Enloe Field. First quarter, Memorial starts to impose themselves already. Matthew Fisher rolls out and hits his main man, Luke Elsperman, who hits the brakes, turns, hits the gas, and goes 60 yards into the end zone. Second quarter, we go. Fisher takes it himself on the read, around the edge, makes it 14-0, and the Tigers take off. 34-7, Fisher play action keeper, makes it 40-7. Memorial keeps pouring it on. Fisher deep to Elsperman in a bucket. And if anyone has any doubts what the Tigers are capable of, there's none left. A state championship is what this team is capable of. They thump Wrights 47-7.
Unofficially 330 yards and 4 touchdowns, 3 in the air for Matthew Fisher. North and Lincoln from Inman Field. The Huskies would get the scoring started early up in Vincennes. Jason Rucker, the second, takes the handoff and enters the secondary. Races to the end zone. North a 14-6 lead. And the Alice's defense would respond on the next drive with a big-time tackle for a loss by Quentin Butler. Lincoln looking to throw downfield here, surveying, escaping the pocket, the pass, bobbled, and right into the arms of Grant Hoppy. Ensuing Huskies drive, Jason Rucker up the gut in for another score. North beats Vincennes Lincoln 21-12.
Now we head to Princeton and Boonville. Pioneers up 14-0 on their new turf for this year in the second quarter, but the Tigers are in pursuit and sack Grant Davis as Noah Dillon on the takedown there, WWE style. And Boonville, though, persevering, though. Nolan McKinney around the right edge, goes 40 yards in for the touchdown. 20-0 Pioneers. Now, Princeton snaps this ball with under a second left on the clock until halftime. And Maynard Cowan steps up, hits Gabe Curry, who has space at the prevent defense, and that's a mistake because this kid, he's got wheels, evades defenders, and goes 60 yards with no time left on the clock. But in the second half, the Pioneers don't let that affect them in the locker room. They beat the Tigers 47-13.
Still maybe a play of the night nominee, you never know. On the other side of the break, more highlights on the way. Mount Vernon and Heritage Hills from Lincoln City. And as we go to break, we'll take a look at scores from around the Tri-State.